This this is my third video on the Alex Moulton space frame bicycle. Moulton makes a lot of bikes. It wasn't always space frame, but this is what I consider to be the king of all bicycles. If you want to research of the Moulton, or heaven forbid even purchase one, you can scroll down and click on the link to get to my resource page, and there you can start researching on your own. Moultons are not necessarily easy to buy. It's just like a Rolls Royce. It's not in every neighborhood bike shop. You typically have to order them, and they make them after you put down some money. That's especially true of the space frame and especially of the upper end Moulton bicycles. As somebody mentioned in the comments section, the Moulton frame allows you to mount a bullhorn handlebar and a variety of exotic handlebar shapes without having to compromise the fold, because there is no fold. You only have a separable frame. You can very easily put the two pieces together. You can strap them or tie them together or carry them separately without having to worry about a bullhorn handlebar or some other exotic handlebar, or a lot of stuff, a lot of gadgets on your handlebar interfering with the fold. This is especially a problem with the Brompton, because the Brompton is trying to be so compact, the fold is so tight, it's very difficult to even put stuff onto the handlebar. The Birdie is considerably easier, but obviously it's not as freewheeling as the Moulton is, and that's why neither the Brompton nor the Birdie ever come from the factory with bullhorn handlebars. Unlike most of the folding bikes, the Moulton space frame comes in a wide variety of different purposes and different configurations. Some of them are more specified for racing, so they are not going to take a mountain bike tire, but they are geared toward the 1.25 to 1.5 tire width. But Moulton also makes space frames that are wide enough to accommodate tires that are wider than 2 inches. This is something even the Birdie cannot do. This is a very wide, I would say really fat mountain bike size. The Moulton does not make anything that I would characterize as a fat tire bike, but they do make stuff that's definitely within mountain bike frame range, and even within that, it is capable of accommodating the fattest of mountain bike tires. The Moulton has the capacity to take really sturdy and very large front and rear rack attachments. This bicycle was really originally dreamed up in the 1970s, in the middle of the fuel crisis in Europe, to be a car replacement, at least for short distances. You can put packs on the Brompton and the Birdie and the Bike Friday, but unless you have a cargo bike like the Bike Friday Holiday, I doubt that you would be able to carry as much as you can carry on the Moulton. Moulton is one of the very few small wheel bicycle manufacturers that offers some of their high-speed versions with a 10-cog cassette. This is based on a hub they themselves make in-house. The idea is that if you want to ride as fast as a full-sized road bike, you are going to need a hub gear, but the hub gear is heavy. So to keep things light and to run a derailleur requires that you get the cassette, you get the smallest wheel down to 10 cogs, unless you can do 9. I think some companies might even do 9. And you have to supersize the front crank. And Moulton has in-house sets that they built themselves that work with the frame to accomplish that. So you get lightweight, but you also get the performance of a generic racing bike, road bike. The Molten probably has the classiest finishes of any bicycle in any category. If you look at the Brompton bike, my own Brompton is really well done. It has nickel plating on it, but if you look at the bottom of it, it's sloppy. It's not meticulously finished. It's not like a piece of jewelry. The bird is much more precisely done. Every square millimeter on the bike is fully painted and everything, but they don't have the layers. The finish does not have that touch, doesn't have that artistic jewelry like look that you get with the Molten, especially the higher end bikes. Of course, some of their bikes are not painted at all. The one you're looking at right now is actually brushed steel, and some parts of it are actually brazed with silver, which is most interesting. At this level, this bicycle does look like a work of art out of the Museum of Modern Art, and like a piece of jewelry. So if you keep it clean, which is not easy because it's a space frame, there's a lot of work keeping these bikes in showroom condition. But if you do, they really augment the decor of any home or apartment because they are just so beautiful. People buy these bikes not in large quantities, but people who can afford to buy them, they buy them because obviously they want to ride them, but this is also riding a work of art, sort of like when you have a really nice Ferrari or Pagani or a car like that. It's just not just that it goes fast, but the experience of sitting in or on a work of art like that, having the ability to admire it when you retire at home after a long day at work is really something. Some people commented that they would not trade in a Brompton to get a Molten. I myself am not ready to trade in my Brompton, into which I have put several years of research and all that effort and money to tune it. But most Molten riders already have a collection of bikes. So typically the people I have met who have Moltens, they already have the Birdie, they already have the Brompton. So this is not an aspirational brand. This is a brand that you get at the pinnacle of your bicycle collection career, as long as we are talking about upright bikes. Now, just to be sure, this is the king of the upright bikes, but the upright bike is really a classical, antiquated design which cannot compete with the modern recumbent designs, and I will talk about those more in a future video. But I'm just saying that this is a lovely bicycle, but there are limitations to riding only upright bicycles. Alright. Finally, I would like to say a few words about collecting. Some people have made millions of dollars collecting and then reselling exotic hypercars. That has happened. If you catch a car as it declines in value, which some of the best of them never even do, or if you buy them new and you have some security that you get them in a small series, there have been hypercars that have only been made in a series of just 3 cars. So you can make money on that. And you see some examples here. This is close to $20 million. Obviously, a brand new hypercar typically does not cost that much money. You can make some money collecting motorcycles, but it's much more difficult. The prices only go up to about $500,000. And these are old bikes. They are over half a century old, and they have to look brand new. They have to function perfectly. It's very hard to make money on this. So when it comes to bicycles, there have been attempts to make the bicycle a collectible item. And you can see this pseudo Lamborghini styled Italian bike. It's really not that big of a deal, really. It's no different from a bike you could get from $6,000-$7,000 at a normal racing bike dealer. It's $20,000. It's actually less money that you would spend for a top-end Molten, and they are trying to market it, showing it next to a Lamborghini SUV. They have made a bunch of bikes which they sold at a remarkable price, like tens of thousands of dollars. But so far, I do not see anybody reselling them at a profit. So if you are collecting, if you want to add a Molten to your collection, this bike is gold plated and really, really ugly. I would say the most you can hope for is that you'll be able to resell it some years or decades from now for not much less than what you paid for it. That's the most that you can hope for. You can't really make money collecting bikes. What you can do on the financial side of bicycle collecting is to acquire bikes that are used but are still in good condition and they are a top-end brand, and the Molten is probably the best one to acquire like that. I have personally met people who bought old Molten still in good condition from eBay, Craigslist, or whatever the place might be for just a few $100s. So it's not an easy find, but they are out there. So if you want to get one for very little money, it is possible, but it takes time. And the Molten is probably the bicycle I would go for before I would go for anything else on the used bike market. This is it for the Molten, at least for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.